Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Leahy, and I am so very happy that you are here with all of us today. In this week's episode of Be One, Be You, we are diving into the theme Seeing Through Illusion. You know, if I gave you a magic magnifying glass right now so that you could see through the lens of the mind that creates things to appear how it wants it to be, to satisfy its own fears. I think you'd have a really good time with this magnifying glass. You have a magnifying glass already within you, and I would love to share with you how to find it. It is a spiritual faculty that's a built-in gift that you are born with. And it's already plugged in inside of your human configuration, your God grid. When you look at your body as an energetic and life force and God presence, that is a unique configuration designed to evolve you. You step out of living in separation and seeing things in the parts. The entry door into this magnifying glass is in your heart. You know, we have an amazing gift of being able to consciously choose. We can choose to open through what appears to be reality and is reality from a state of separation, or move into a whole place of being and seeing. You don't need a lot of fancy ceremonies or ayahuasca or other substances to find the place that takes you through all the inner worlds of illusion. One can spend their entire lifetime, and most of us can and will, unless we make the choice to follow that inner yearning. And that inner yearning is to be connected and one with that source that is within us. For some of us, some of you, it's a no-brainer. It's something you have to find. It's more important than a lot of other material things in your life. And when you first find the connecting door, it feels amazing. So I found my connecting door to begin meditation. And I was ready by the age of 14, 15 to discover my third eye. I hadn't even known the word of what it was. That inner door, that inner portal dordle, that inner door is connected into the main magnifying glass in your heart, and that is your heart center. So I'm going to circle back around to the third eye, because that seems to be what a lot of us really yearn for and seek to be able to see from that place. It's not as difficult as one might think. And the way that you find it is not from the mental body. The mental body is your thinking body. The mental body shifts and changes according to how your emotional body is wired into the source. It's really different than how a lot of the logic reasoning perspective manifests in our conscious and personal development movement around the world. Your heart center is the door that connects straight into God, and the mind is what has to surrender. You experience a surrendered mind state through surrendering into the heart and surrendering into the light. Once you grok in and connect through the heart center, which is why all of us really want to love more, be loved, experience love. It's our deepest human desire if we're aligned to wanting to be fully human. Hu, meaning God. Hu is an ancient word that can be chanted. Hu, elongating the U sound, vibrates to the third eye. And that third eye and heart connection, that's where I'm going here. The third eye and the heart connection, once they're connected, is the beginning to being able to see through illusion. Maya, Maya, it's the Sanskrit word for illusion, is always here in this dimension. It's what makes up the physical plane. And God created this Maya to, I see it as a maze that we go through. And what moved me to create the Spirit Gateways work that you find in the Spirit Gateways Institute is really to be able to get through this world of Maya and to be able to align oneself with that core current, core ray, the beam, the wiring that could connect me directly into source. And that was my goal. And I wanted that from a really young age and found it as a dancer, as a movement artist, in particular when I was at school as a dance major. And I wanted to not create choreography from my head. I wanted it to come from a place that was infinitely eternal, where when I dance, I could feel the source within me. As I connected into that source within me, I'd break through and open up, break through my barriers and open up into that place of source creation inside. And that's what I want for you, is to experience where you're going through the limitations of the mind, of the set structures that the logical mind, when it's separate from source, experiences. And it's so easy in the frenetic energy to want to get things done that we fall out of that union with the source within and get into a more linear state of being. And then we're unable to see through illusion. Some examples of that is we become unable to see another person's motivations, another person's intentions, because we are buying into living in the illusion. Yeah, you could call it living in the matrix, where you're spoon fed from your own mind and the influence is going into your mind, how you're supposed to see things and respond. Right now, we're living in a time period where there is potential collective numbness because there are so many violations that are happening daily to all of us through having our nervous system set on high alert of unexpected circumstances, events that are happening that are beyond our control. So, by connecting into the source within you, that ray right through your spine, from the top of your head, through your spiritual centers, including the third eye, the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and feeling moved inside, stimulated to want to feel and know what life is like outside of that linear space through the illusion of what our mind is creating to make us feel okay in ourselves, that we're really alive, that we really exist. There have been moments on my spiritual, physical awakening where I have felt like I was losing my mind. And I used to celebrate it and laugh about it as it was happening. And as I progressed over the years, I actually experienced a moment going, wow, this is like really for real. And it felt like a moment of inner panic. And I realized that was the me that was holding on to reality having to be a certain way. You have within inside of yourself the ability to tap into and connect into the source, that source of light, of love. And on the inner dimensions within you, there are beings of light, masters, who are there working with people just like you to help them evolve. All of my teachers have been on the inner planes since I've been 21 years old. And my inner amusement was every 2 or 3 years, I'd be passed off to the next master. And I got pretty used to it after about 10 years. And then I was passed, and I was passed on to a master of masters, and that changed my life. Imagine a being who all the other masters in the universe are receiving instructions from to support the universal functions that happen here in the world, in this world, and tens of thousands of other worlds that are happening simultaneously. So when you begin to see through illusion, you are connecting your heart and your third eye. And you give yourself the opportunity to then connect with your emotions. As I began to share a little bit ago, it's through the emotional body that the light body can awaken. You can think it into being, but it can't happen because the circuitry is actually in the emotional body. So, through feeling your own feelings and tracking them to the source, the root of your true self, meaning the you that is perfect, it's whole, it's intact. Around the true you exists the fractures and the breakage, the fragmentations. It's like we have to move through our brokenness to get to the kernel, to the inside seed that is pure, that is the um, beautiful functionings of our authentic and true self. So to see through illusion means that you want to see through the childhood imprints that were put into you from your parents, your ancestry, of how things are supposed to be. And you want to question them and trust your questioning, because by self-inquiry and questioning, you can begin to probe through what appears to be real. And always remember that the economic systems around you, the ease in which you can purchase things, the money systems are created for a very strong function. They're created either for the good of humanity or for the control of humanity. It's which side of the coin you're working on. And for those of you who really value the side of the coin of the systems here really serving the good of the people, it's really important for you to see through illusions so that you make your choices clearly, so that you can walk through your life as anchored as you can in your true self. You want to be able to see through illusion so that you can see somebody before you get into bed with them. And then if you get into bed with someone before you've seen through what's really there, then you have the opportunity to not stay in the relationship longer than what your karma and what your soul is clearly trying to say to you. Our own will, our own enthusiasm for love, for success, for recognition can get in the way of being able to see clearly. If you take time each day to just sit and be with yourself and let your mind drop into your heart, let your mind drop into the space in your third eye, which is right above your eyebrows in the center of your forehead. And then know that there is a cave of light inside of your forehead, and to let yourself just inwardly chant the sound Hu. Let yourself be silent. Let yourself bring in blue light. There is a freedom that's important in not overburdening and structuring yourself where you overwork trying to have a spiritual result. You want to have it come through the connection and the ease with your own energetic spirit flow that comes from your heart opening as your mind surrenders to your heart and you become aware of stopping your judgments and your perceptions onto yourself. You are then able to do the same for others. And it helps you to see more clearly some of the levels of abusive power and what really is the word misinformation. It's information that is recreated in order to sustain an illusion. And for you to be able to see through the fears that are being indoctrinated into our global collective mind right now is very important. Because once you find the light within you, you want to be able to hold a steady connection with your own light and be sure to not give it over to the wrong people and situations. Being one in your light is the main objective for the Spirit Gateways Institute programs and all of the courses that you find in the Evolutionary Empowerment Global Village and the mentoring possibilities and opportunities and the special events are all structured and designed to support you to move through the limitations and the separations, the barriers, both invisible and visible barriers within yourself, so that you can locate and live in and really be present in the truth and the true power and love of your true self. I'm inviting you to come to my website, ayanalehi.com, IANALAHI.com, and subscribe, sign up, receive the info of what's being offered. And I would love to have you there and part of our community in these times of great change, being able to be fully connected and present in who you truly are and hold that frequency is of great importance. Thanks so much for joining with all of us, holding you in deep love. Until next time, this is Ayana Lehi.